Xbox on.
Game on, baby! Wow!
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit. As per usual, I'm your host, Ross Miller, and I'm joined by Delicious Cheese.
Yo!
No smarmy little smug intro this week, I'm afraid, because I never had any time to write stuff down this week.
You have to write that?
Sometimes.
It always feels so natural the way you insult me like that.
It's all pre-planned. And of course, also joining us this week is nobody. It's just Rhys and I.
Yeah, because Clay is just a quitter. No, he's not. He's what's Clay doing again?
I don't know. He's something to do with work. I don't really pay that much attention.
Oh, that's lovely. I can't wait for him to hear that. No, Clay is at a pretty awesome convention, actually. There's like robots and stuff. I'm a little bit jealous.
What the robots doing?
Robot things?
What do robots do?
Perform menial tasks very poorly.
So he's away watching inanimate sort of objects, if you could call them, performing rubbish tasks badly?
More or less, yeah.
It doesn't sound that amazing.
Oh, I think it sounds pretty amazing.
Hey, we've got a podcast about video games. You know, who would want to miss that to go to a conference? I don't know.
Right. And speaking of our podcast and missing episodes.
Yeah. So I've got a huge apology to make to the fans and listeners of this podcast. We've missed the last 2 weeks. First week was scheduling. And last week
Blame
we
Clay.
actually recorded. Yep, blame Clay. Last week we actually did record, but unfortunately we had a little bit of a technical error, which means we couldn't release the episode. But don't worry, we are currently looking at a list of names and drafting in new people so that we don't miss anything ever again till at least next January.
At least next January.
So we usually start the podcast with what we've been playing. It'll be quite short this week because there's only two of us. But what have you been playing this week, Rhys?
I have played a little bit Dead Rising. Haven't quite gotten through that yet. I've never actually been someone who binges the Dead Rising games. I love them. I've played them all. But I pop one in and play for maybe an hour max. Kill a few zombies, have a few laughs, and then I've got enough. I'm done. And a little bit of Minecraft with my girlfriend in split screen. Just every now and again, you get that Minecraft itch. Anybody who has the game and enjoys it knows what I'm talking about. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, a couple.
So
of
you're
weeks
doing
ago.
survival?
Sorry?
Are you doing survival in Minecraft, or?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, like my son got an Xbox One for his Christmas, and of course there's Minecraft installed in both consoles. So I've actually been playing some battle mode.
Tell me about this battle mode, because I have not played it.
It's essentially, how can I describe this? The Hunger Games in Minecraft.
Don't you mean Battle Royale?
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
had to get my pretentiousness back on board.
I was just saying that for the kids.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, no, like, you start off with nothing, you all run to the centre of a room, you pick up as many items as you can from chests that are littered there, and then you all spread out, get yourself sorted, maybe pick up another couple of things, and last man standing wins.
And it's all like that?
Yeah. Well, there's other modes, I think, but that's only one I've tried.
And you can play that in split screen?
You can play that in split screen, yep, or we're playing it in two different consoles in the same house.
That actually might be might be quite fun for like a party, like in 4-player split screen.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's 4. I know it can certainly do 2-player split screen. I assume 4, but yeah, it seems quite good fun. Like, we actually had a group of 6 or 7 of us playing it.
Okay.
Including my kids last weekend. So yeah, all on different consoles, but yeah, that was a lot of good fun. It's good mode, and breathe some new life into Minecraft as such, not as if it needs it.
No, that's Minecraft is actually great because I actually said this to my girlfriend when we turned it back on, that you get the itch to play some Minecraft and build some thing or explore or whatever. You pop the game in and you play, and maybe you play for maybe a week or two until you scratch the itch, and then you put Minecraft away, and then you come back a couple months later when the itch strikes you again. It's like a whole new game. Like you have to. There's so much new stuff added every time. They've just been adding and adding and adding, and they've made no hint or indication that they intend to slow down. So I think that's really cool.
Shout out to 4J, good Scottish-based company that.
Yes. And of course, Notch, the creator of Minecraft, good Scandinavian-based man there. Wait, no, he's not Scandinavian-based anymore. He bought like a gigantic mansion in Hollywood, I think.
Yeah.
And all he does is like talk crap on Twitter all day. It's great. 2 weeks ago, I was playing some more Overcooked with friends. Party mode. It's just that game is just the best.
It's amazing. I've done everything in it now.
It's
my wife and I.
Everything.
Every single. Well, we've not got 3 stars on everything.
Because last time we talked about this, you hadn't.
Oh yeah, so it's all been done. All the DLC, everything.
You are a god. I think it might be you're cheating because it's the two of you, so you can work well together. We play in a group, and the more people you add, the more difficult everything becomes because the more communication is required.
It's a glorious game, is the only way to describe it. It could start or end relationships, but it's worth it.
We have had legit relationship issues start in the middle of a party. Don't play this with couples, this game, anyone who has not played it yet. By the way, if you have not played it, you're robbing yourself of one of the best local multiplayer games you will ever play. And you don't need to be good at games. You just need to have some very basic motor skills, and it's just awesome, really.
Well, it's only like 2 buttons.
Yeah, there's 2. In fact, you can. I don't know if you know this, but you can play 4 players or even 2 players. Or you can play 2 players with 1 controller and 4 players with 2 controllers. And the way you do it, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically you turn the controller sideways. So I'm holding one stick with my thumb, and I've got my hands on the buttons, and the person is holding onto the other end of the controller, so they've got one stick with their thumb, and they've got the D-pad.
The D-pad?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would just be the 2 analog sticks and the 2 top buttons.
2 analog sticks and 2 top buttons.
Yeah, like the trigger.
How could you play like that? That would be really weird.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, stranger things have happened. It's a bit like the new Nintendo that got announced, actually.
What's the name of that again?
I don't remember. Super Wii? No, it's the Nintendo Switch, and I'm very excited, and I want one. I want 10 right now.
Well, what's it called again? Sorry, the
Nintendo Switch. Yep. Yeah,
I know. You can't say it without. You need to click your fingers if you're going to say anything about the Nintendo Switch.
Did you watch the conference?
I watched the replay of the conference, so yes, I have. I never stayed up till 4 a.m. to watch it. I watched the replay.
So much finger clicking, and if anyone hasn't watched it, and you want to see the funniest live translator meltdown in a long time, try and watch skip to the part which has Sura 51 speaking, and the poor translator just he just gives up. He's just like like you can just. It's great.
It's really funny though, because like the translators obviously never get told to like be enthusiastic when you're speaking. So like these really, really enthusiastic people speaking about their new product, and then just this translator just like translating it in a normal voice.
Like
it didn't really
deadpan, like you're at the United Nations or something.
But anyway, enough about the Nintendo Switch, because this is an podcast.
The new Zelda trailer.
Yeah, no one cares. Moving on.
It's made
let's
a
find
lot
out.
of enemies for us.
Let's find out what's been happening in the subreddit this week.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. This week in the subreddit.
So, I'm going first. And there's no Clay here to fight me. Microsoft has confirmed Scalebound has been cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah. We teared up about this, basically. Had a big old cry in the last episode.
Were you looking forward to the game, or...?
See, no. Now, this is not like commentary on the quality of the game, because whenever I looked at it, I was like, yep, that's a Platinum game, all right. And I don't like Platinum games. I never have really managed to enjoy any of them. I'm just not a huge fan of Japanese-style hack and slash, and there's just never been a game that has been not like that enough for me to enjoy it. I mean, I do love Platinum's naughty, cheeky, sort of dark and very perverted sense of humor that they have in all their games. Like cutscenes for Metal Gear Revengeance are hilarious, but game itself, nah. You
see, well, I was sort of through other people. I'm again a bit like you. I'm not a huge fan of the series, and Platinum in the past had some amazing games, but the recent form hadn't maybe been as good. So that
did you play? Oh wait, no, of course you didn't. You don't have. Wait, no, you do have a Wii, don't you? You have a Wii U.
Yes.
Did you play Bayonetta 2?
I did. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about Transformers.
Oh, yeah, that was okay.
I didn't particularly like it. And then more recently, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That was a dumpster fire, and the fire was made out of failure.
Yeah. Also, just, that's been delisted.
Delisted?
Yeah, like, you can no longer buy that.
Really? I missed that.
Yep. So
why?
I don't know if it's Activision's licensing or something else, but like you can no longer, if you go to the store, you can no longer buy that game.
And the people who downloaded it before, they still have access, though, right?
Yes, because they still own it. Yeah, but you just no new copies. I'm sure there'll be ones lying about shops and things like that, but with regards to buying it new digitally on the store,
yeah,
you can't do it.
Okay, but in the time since this first was announced, because it's been like 2 weeks now, a few more details and rumors and lots of hearsay and sort of stuff has come to pass, and both Microsoft and Platinum made statements that were both incredibly vague. But
as you would do if you're a business.
Yeah, exactly. I said to someone else, like, this is basically the most amicable way two companies can professionally part ways without pointing fingers and looking like children. Yeah, it's no one really knows why it was cancelled, but it makes me sad. And I would only assume that Platinum had stretched himself just far too thin, because if anyone doesn't know, they've made like 9 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I suppose, like, Microsoft they're both businesses at the end of the day. This game was meant to be out now.
Yeah,
when you think about
it's gotten prime time at 2 E3s.
Yeah, exactly. And there has to be a point where the publisher, in this case Microsoft, have to turn around and they go, oh, we need more time or we need more money, and there has to be a point where they just turn around and go, no.
Well, see, Microsoft has never actually been afraid to do that. I mean, last year they closed Lionhead Studios, who are one of their most famous studios, and they also closed that
was quite black and white, that one.
Yeah. I see what you did there. And they also got rid of that other studio that made Max and the Curse of Brotherhood, the Danish studio.
Yeah, I was surprised at that.
Yeah, everyone was, because they just started making a new game.
Yeah. It's it's always sad to see IP that people are looking forward to never see the light of day. But ultimately, if Microsoft decided this wasn't for them anymore, then we've got to respect that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And basically Dave on the mod team was the only one on the mod team who was really looking forward to this, and he was quite heartbroken about it. And it's, games are fun, and when it's, even if you're not really into the game yourself, it's never cool when something like this happens.
So that's what I was going to ask. Why are you so sad? If you weren't bothered about the game?
Well, I mean, why would I want people not to have fun?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, I don't play Call of Duty, but I don't think it should stop being a thing. I don't play NHL, but I don't think it should stop being a thing. I think
because people should have choices, and the more choices they have, and the more fun they can have, the better it is.
Absolutely, yeah, no, 100%. And variety is a spice of life, and that's why we've got all these awesome indie games now. I think both Microsoft and Sony have realized that letting people have more games to choose from, even if some games only sell 10 copies, that's 10 happy people at the end of the day.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations, our Xbox One. About 2.5 weeks ago now, we hit 300,000 subscribers.
Yay!
You can edit in some sort of, like, children saying yay, one of those generic sounds, I'm sure. But no, seriously,
no.
Well done, guys. Thank you on behalf of the entire mod team. Most of you, not all of you, but most of you are pretty damn awesome. And it has been an honor for myself, and I know I speak on behalf of the entire mod team when I say for all of us to have led the charge for the past couple of years and grown from nowhere to more than 250,000 now.
It's scary to think that.
Yeah, it really is. And what is even scarier is that, well, not scarier, but better, is that our monthly views have always been higher because lots of people browse just from Google or without subscribing and whatever else. But our subscriptions are not only increasing, but the speed with which people are increasing is increasing. So we're getting faster and faster, more and more people. So many more people who probably already did browse have decided, you know what, I'm going to subscribe to this subreddit. So that's good. That means that you guys you're pretty cool.
For me, I always think Reddit is a place where you subscribe when you've got something to say. Mm-hmm. So I suppose the thanks in the community is well deserved because someone somewhere has said something that someone felt the need to create an account, subscribe to the subreddit, just so that they could reply to that message. Yeah,
I know, right? And a little bit of amusing mod trivia for you. The conversation on our subreddit, it's, I think, the best Xbox One conversation, on the entire internet. And a lot of people who play up and be naughty little children, and they get the banhammer. They tell us at the time, I don't need you. Your subreddit sucks anyway. You're the worst. Everyone on the subreddit is a loser, and everyone downvotes me, and I hate them all. They all come back, Ross. They all apologize. They all ask to come back because nowhere has the same amount and discourse and the same quality of discourse as we do, in my opinion.
Like, you probably notice I do guest on, some other podcasts and things like that.
Really?
And I spread myself about, Rhys, I'm not going to lie. And I was on a podcast a few weeks ago and they sent me the show notes and every single one was a link to a Reddit post. It's like, yeah, everyone uses the subreddit for their news, basically.
There's been a couple of cases where someone has discovered something about Xbox, for example, and then the media has found out about it, like, say, I don't know, Kotaku. So someone makes a post on our subreddit, Kotaku makes an article about a post on our subreddit, and then someone has found that article about a post on our subreddit and made a post on our subreddit with that article. So it's a post on our subreddit of an article about a post on our subreddit. It's like it would make Exhibit's head spin.
Yeah, yeah. That's Inception in its purest form.
Yes, yeah, I need like an Inception horn button somewhere.
Well, anyway, congratulations. As just a user of the subreddit, as well as speaking to you guys in the mod team and everyone in the community, congratulations. There's a lot of work, as I know, goes into keeping that subreddit ticking over nicely, and thank you.
You're welcome.
So what else has been happening since you're in charge this week?
I am. So it's me who decides when we move on, and I have decided that we are moving on. Oh, I'm bad at this, aren't I? I'm awful at being a host. Don't do this next week. So, Microsoft... No, not Microsoft, sorry. Someone who's not Microsoft has estimated that the Xbox One has sold 26 million units as of now. Now, it's very important to specify that this is not an official number. They are an independent research group. And when Microsoft was asked about this, they said, we do not talk about sales numbers anymore. Russ.
That would be slightly less than what I was expecting.
Less?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if that number is true, then the Xbox One has sold more than double the amount of the Xbox 360 at this point in its lifetime.
Well, that's a good... Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know enough about this.
If the PS4 did not exist, then the Xbox One would be one of the fastest selling consoles in history, except of course for the Wii, because that thing sold 101 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
The thing is we live in a different age, though, and although always comparisons will be, this is definitely the age where people own more than one console.
Absolutely.
So I know when I was young, I had one console. That was it. That's what you played with.
Yeah, I mean, you had to pick your allegiance too. It was a very important decision.
Exactly.
But you know, consoles now, they cost roughly the same, but before all they did was play games. So convincing your parents to drop 400 big ones on a console that played games, essentially a toy, that's a big ask. So of course you're only getting one, but nowadays game consoles do way more. I use my Xbox for gaming the least. It spends 90% of its time as a Netflix machine and a Blu-ray machine, you know, and also of course, you know, that was when you and I were kids. So when we grew up, you know, we've got disposable income and we want to play all the games. So I think not only has the functionality of consoles shifted to make them more like a much better value proposition for any household, but people who want to play games, the demographics have shifted and now they can actually afford to buy as many consoles as they want.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. So in my household, there is a laptop, PC,
right.
So desktop.
Yep.
There is 2 Xbox Ones.
2.
Yep.
Slim?
No, none of them slim. One's an Elite console.
Okay.
See, I got my son an Elite console and then I took the Elite controller.
You're an awful dad.
Yeah, it was my wife present to me. But anyway, we've got a PS4,
Yeah.
Wii U,
Yeah.
3DS.
A 3DS? I didn't know you had a 3DS.
Yep, tablet. You know, the amount of gaming machines
And you got your cell
that are
phones
in
too.
this house. Exactly. So your cell phones, the amount of sort of gaming machines and money that we've spent on these electronic devices is insane.
Yeah.
And you can only see it getting more and more and more. And with things like VR coming and the extra devices that you can buy for all these said things, there's going to be a tipping point.
Yeah, does there? I slapped down €300 just last week because I want to buy the new Nintendo. Like,
is it €300? That's quite good.
yeah, it's $299 actually. We have to pay the European tax. The Nintendo Switch is actually really cool in that it saves me having to buy a tablet. So I want to buy a tablet for myself, but the Switch is also a portable tablet, so that's kind of neat.
If Xbox released
Which one of us is the native speaker?
I'm not sure. I really don't know anymore. So, moving on, Rhys.
Last week's topic that we talked about, and we're going to talk about it again because it's kind of important to you, Ross, and that is...
It is important to me. Yeah.
Sega registered the Shenmue HD domain. Ross.
Yes.
Tell me how much you like Shenmue again, because I want to hear it.
Rhys, remember these people will never hear last week's episode. Keep on referencing
that's why I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. I want to hear this again.
So Shenmue is quite a large part of my life, in the sense that it was my game. You know, everyone's got the game when they grow up that they absolutely adore and spend a lot of time on. Well, I had the Dreamcast, and Shenmue was my game. And when they announced that the third game was coming to PS4 and was being kickstarted, I obviously was excited that they were making another game. You know, a small part was disappointed that it wasn't confirmed on Xbox One at that particular time.
Has it been yet?
But I don't think so, no. I know. But anyway, Sega have registered the Shenmue HD domain, which hopefully means that we could maybe see some remastered Shenmue games. Mm. Now, for those that don't know what the game's about, it was truly, I believe, the first open world game.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, in the modern sense, in that it had time, it had a job that you had to go to every day, shops opened and shut at certain times, characters would only be in locations at certain points and depending on your actions. It had collectibles, little toys that you could collect. It had games within games with arcade machines. And it was a truly game that you would say is ahead of its time. Now, I know when you and I have talked about this, Rhys, you've mentioned it hasn't stood the test of time. It's showing its age.
It's a bit clunky nowadays.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm obviously, nostalgia moves in for me. But I was quite involved and I interviewed a few of the guys from it, of the Save Shenmue campaign. So I interviewed a couple of them and post the game announcement and stuff, and on the 3rd of every month I send a tweet out saying we want Shenmue HD. So this is a special part of my childhood and adulthood, that I've taken along with me, that I just really, really want to see. So any positive news, even if it is a domain registration, I'm going to be very, very happy with.
Okay, did you like the sequel?
I did, yeah, that was an Xbox game.
Mm-hmm. So there's a good chance that we could maybe see the new one on the Xbox then?
Hopefully. I would love to see. Xbox, I've always said, is my platform of choice, so if anything comes out on more than one platform, I buy it on Xbox. So,
well, yeah.
I would just love to see it, and as I said, it's... Yeah. Did you play it back in the day?
Yeah, I did. And I mean, even at the time, I was like... Well, of course, no one had ever seen a game even remotely like this before. It like the elements within the game had been done elsewhere, but to see them all combined into this game, and of which the level of detail at the time was just unprecedented, and
yeah,
I was just like, what is this game? Like, it's like a busy work simulator. Like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Like the fact that you actually have to eat at a certain time and then go to work and then actually perform a mini game at work and then go and have lunch and then go back to work, and then after work you go out and you go about solving this mystery, which is the main story, which I won't spoil for anybody, and then you have to go home and have dinner, and then you get into like an alley fight with kung fu in the back, and then you get into a car chase, and you have to get home and go to bed in time to sleep enough to wake up in the morning and go back to work. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, and to think how old that game is.
Yeah.
And it had all that. Just to say, there was one negative, and that was QuickTime. QuickTime does not deserve any point in any game. Apart from Lara Croft.
I actually think it may have been the very first game to really use QuickTime events to that extent. I know that God of War made them famous, but I don't know if that was the game that invented them. I think Shenmue may have been the one that really got in there first. If someone knows what the first game to feature QuickTime events, or at least feature them as heavily as something like Shenmue or God of War, please tweet me or comment in the subreddit down below. I really want to know, and I'm too lazy to use Google.
There was one thing that always annoyed me about the game.
What's that?
Though, as much as I love it. So you go to work as a forklift driver. And you have to lift some boxes and put them in place throughout the day. Then on your lunch break, what do? You drive forklift trucks about in a race. It's like, that's the last thing. If I'd been driving that about all day, delivering boxes and moving boxes about, when it got to my lunch break, I just want to chillax. I don't want to be racing the same thing that I use all day round a dock. First of all, it's not safe. These aren't designed for racing. There's water all around. It's on a dock.
I really like how, like, teenage you was like a bureaucrat at heart already, like concerned about occupational health and safety.
Yeah, where's the safety officer going, guys? You've got to stop this racing. This is not going to end well. And they're betting on it as well.
Yeah.
You know, surely that's illegal.
Right. Flagrant.
It's just, something that's annoyed me my whole life. The quick time I can handle racing on your lunch break, no.
That's just irresponsible. If you do play the game again, apart from the graphics being old, I think the one thing that, and the game controlling a little bit clunky, the one thing that hasn't aged, like the one thing that has aged the worst is the voice acting. It's god awful. So if you can handle the voice acting that makes like bad. Your average porno sound like high theater, then you'll be okay.
We watch very different stuff, Rhys.
Well, I moderate Reddit. I have very eclectic tastes.
But I'm just talking about my theatre's very lowbrow. No,
yeah, well.
Back on point, this would be, if they announced this for this year, this would be easily my most anticipated game of the year.
Okay, well, what is your most anticipated game of the year, if not this? Because we have a lot of new... this is actually going to be my next and final topic. And that's basically, there's been... I can't point to any one thread because there's been so much talk about this year for Microsoft. People have been saying, what's coming this year? We've got the Scorpio, but what games are coming on it? And, Phil has been tweeting endlessly about all these different exclusives coming this year. We've got Crackdown, we've got Halo Wars 2, we've got Sea of Thieves, hopefully. We've got probably the next Forza game, and maybe Below, maybe Cuphead. So, and what is your most anticipated game this year?
Well, can I say two? Because one's multi-platform.
Yeah, go for it.
And already out.
You can say one multi-platform, one exclusive. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Most exclusive, actually, because there isn't enough RTS. It is going to be Sea of Thieves, but I'm going to let you talk about it, so I won't spoil that for you, Rhys. I won't spoil it for you because it will be that. But I'm actually looking forward to Halo Wars 2.
Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
See,
there's not enough RTS.
No, they're really not.
And I know one got released this weekend. I can't remember. Was it Siegecraft? But there's something about an RTS on a console when it's designed for a console and a joypad that just makes it quite special.
I was just going to mention that the reason that Halo Wars 1 didn't suck like every other RTS ever released on a console ever is because they designed it from the ground up with the controller in mind. It was never designed for a mouse and then worked backwards. It was designed for the controller, and everything about the game works on a console.
Yeah.
And having a game that actually works on a system it was designed for. Okay, so anyone who is old enough and stupid enough, aka me, to remember late nights playing Red Alert on the PS1 with the D-pad will know exactly what I'm talking about here.
Damn those Tesla coils.
Oh.
But yeah, for me, it's something special. It's something that doesn't come around too often, and I really can't wait to spend hours and hours and playing that game. I really can't. It looks beautiful. It plays well from what I've played of it in the videos I've watched. It's going to be something special, and I'm really looking forward to it. The other game that I'm really looking forward to, which is multi-platform, it's actually already out on Steam, is Bushido Black and White.
Oh wait, you have talked to me about this game. I remember now. You played it at EGX.
I have talked to you about this game. I played it at EGX. I played the EGX Res the year before that as well. It is already out on Steam, but basically it's like a 2D slash 'em up or beat 'em up where you essentially jump around a static or a fixed map. One team's dressed in black, one team's dressed in white. You can slip into the shadows, so the whole background's black and white as well. And if you're black and you're in the black area, you slip into the shadows, and vice versa. And you're essentially jumping about trying to kill each other. There's different power-ups, different modes. I know it's going to have online support, so it's a fun local multiplayer game as well as online.
I can't wait to get my hands on that.
Surprisingly, yeah, a lot of depth to it as well. And for me, that just after playing games like Overcooked and Rocket League, I've, with my friends and my wife and everything else, I've really found the value of local multiplayer again. And a game of that sort of quality and fun, I just can't wait for it, to be honest. So I don't know when. I don't think it's got an official release date. I just know it's this year. I'm really looking forward to it.
They have to come on the pod.
Yeah, 100%.
I need to talk to them about this game because there's not enough local multiplayer games anymore. That seriously, it makes me.
It's got online as well.
That's even. Why not both? As you asked me before, why am I so sad that a game I honestly don't really give a crap about isn't being released? Because people deserve to have fun, and so when it comes to multiplayer, people are like, oh, it should only have online. No, it should have both. Why not both?
Yeah. So you, let me guess, does yours involve pirates?
Actually, my most anticipated game was just announced today. It's Kitty Powers Matchmaker.
Oh, I forgot about that. Damn.
Yeah, I knew. I swear I stole your thunder. But no, seriously, yeah, my most anticipated game probably involves pirates. It's Sea of Thieves. I've played it. I played it at Gamescom. I played it at Rare when they invited me and also Ross, who didn't turn up.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, gotcha. Again, I remind him at least once a week. We were on their. I was on their podcast too, Ross. But yeah, so seriously, to no longer prolong your torment, Sea of Thieves is great. If you have been living under a rock and for some reason are listening to the Xbox One Party Chat podcast and somehow do not know what Sea of Thieves is, it's a game about pirates and it's good fun. If you are at the slightest bit curious what the game plays like, go and play the indie game on the PC on Steam called Guns of Icarus Online. That is basically an airship steampunk version of most of what
Stop getting people to go and play this game and just get them to anticipate Sea of Thieves, please.
You see, having played this game, Guns of Icarus, it's I don't want to say amateur because that makes me sound a bit that's rude, but the game is it's quite simplistic and it was obviously made by a small team and it's really, really, really fun. And I played it years ago. And the whole time I was playing it, I was like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. I haven't had this much fun in multiplayer in years. And if only I could have this from a AAA developer. And then along comes my old friends Rare, and they promise to give me exactly what I want, but they give me pirates, and they give me digging up treasure, and maybe even some kind of single player. And it's great, isn't it? And it's not Call of Duty or Battlefield or FIFA. It's something different.
Well, we've turned into sort of drunken Friday nights. And a Friday night, my kid could go off to my parents or a family member, and Charlie and I get date night. Now, we could go falling outside of nightclubs. We could, hit local bars or go to the cinema. No, we choose to sit in, drink craft beer, play games, and we have great fun. So, shout out to everyone in the Friday night people that do that. And we were talking about this, about how Sea of Thieves is totally going to change that. The whole lot of us out in the open ocean, sailing ships, talking to each other. it's a perfect game for that scenario, or yourself just playing online, or scheduling. I'm losing the track. It's the game. I've never seen a game with so much potential.
Because, the only thing that they've played, of course, I can't talk about what I've seen behind closed doors, but the game that people have played at Gamescom is basically just a vertical slice of the game. They've basically just taken the ship-to-ship combat and said, here's part of the game. Here's the ship-to-ship combat, not showing anything else. And that alone, I would pay money for. So there is just so much potential. They've hinted at open world and MMO and take your friends and go on adventures and dig up treasures and whatnot. I mean, as you say, there's so much potential here. I hope it's not squandered.
No, I've read ever let you down before, so...
well, actually, no.
I think that says a lot.
I can't think of a single rare game I didn't like. I even like Connect Sport Rivals.
I like Connect Sport Rivals.
Yeah, it's good. I like the rock climbing game. But I have to get down on my knees when I play it because I'm too tall and the Connect can't see my hands. First world problems, right?
I just get images of you on your knees pretending to climb.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing.
What's your multi-platform choice?
Okay, that's also easy because it's sitting right here on the front page of the subreddit, and that's Torment: Tides of Numenera. This is the only game that I have ever put any money into. I didn't back it. It was one of the very first ever successes on Kickstarter. I think it was the second big success right after Double Fine. And I pre-ordered it after it got greenlit. It made like $4.5 million, $5 million before the campaign was up. And after that, I pre-ordered right away. And it is, that was almost 3 years ago now. And it's been in development this whole time. It's finally coming out in February. And it's also getting a console release, which is awesome. Except I've already paid for it on PC, but I kind of want to play it on my Xbox One, so I might even pay for it twice because apparently I hate money. But for anyone who doesn't know, it's a top-down isometric RPG, old school, kind of like Baldur's Gate. They're experiencing something of a renaissance at the moment. There was that other popular one that came out just a little while ago, and the name is on the tip of my tongue. Ross, help me.
Diablo?
No, not. Well, it looks a bit like Diablo, but it's not Diablo. Pillars of Eternity?
Oh, Pillars of Eternity, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that. If I'm wrong, someone will tell me. But yeah, anyway.
FIFA?
Games like, and also Shadowrun Returns and Wasteland, they're all sort of coming back, this top-down isometric game. And of course, for the layman,
Crimson Red as well.
Yeah, and XCOM. Anyway, so it's top down, and it is a spiritual sequel to what is considered by many to be the greatest RPG ever, at least by way of story, and that is Planescape Torment, which was released a long time ago, like maybe 15 years, even longer, 20 years, by BioWare. Was it BioWare? Were they BioWare back then?
I don't know.
Anyway, they're in exile now. Brian Fargo, very famous guy. He invented Fallout. For those who don't know, he's in charge of this project. And, it's a spiritual sequel to that game. And the game promises that they have... it's because it's top down. The graphics aren't very good. They're nice, but it's top down. It's not exactly graphically intensive. They've spent the last 3 years basically writing. They say that this is going to be the greatest RPG you have ever played, as long as you don't mind reading. It's going to be like a gigantic interactive sort of novel, and basically combat is one of the least important things in the game. You can apparently play the game without killing anybody. You can talk your way out of any combat scenario. So that's going to be really, really interesting. And
It does intrigue me.
I'm going to
now that
be
you've described it.
after February. Basically, I'm off the podcast and life in general until I've finished this thing.
And then in March you're off because of Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I hope I can finish it before March. Oh, Reggie, have mercy, because then there's Zelda. Oh no.
Well, we want to know what your most anticipated games are of 2017. Let us know in the comments on the subreddit or by tweeting us at X1PartyChat.
That wasn't such a bad episode, Ross.
Was not.
Just you and me.
It was not, considering the two of us. It's very cosy, Rhys. Very cosy. But anyway, thank you, Rhys.
Thank you, Ross.
It's been a nice episode. And for another week, Xbox turn off.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
Let's do this.